A UN commission has released a report confirming genocide has been committed by Israel in Gaza since October 2023. Independent researchers involved providing the strongest UN finding on this issue to date. While established by the UN's Human Rights Council, the Commission of Inquiry does not officially speak for the United Nations, but it does lay out across 72 pages what it says are reasonable grounds to conclude that Israel is liable for genocidal acts, as defined under international law. And that means meeting at least one of 5 conditions, and Israel, it alleges, meets 4, including killing members of a group, causing serious bodily and mental harm, deliberately inflicting conditions to destroy a group, and preventing births. The report also points to specific genocidal intent by several Israeli leaders, including Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Israel has rejected this report, accusing the commission of serving as Hamas proxies. The Israeli military launching an intensive ground offensive as promised into Gaza City. The push comes after Israel's defense minister said, quote, Gaza is burning following weeks of airstrikes. The defense minister stressing that the IDF will not relent until the release of hostages and the elimination of Hamas. More Blake Sifton joins us live from Tel Aviv. Blake, this conclusion, this report by the Commission of Inquiry set up by the UN's Human Rights Council, how does that change anything on the ground in Gaza?
Good evening, Wei Su. Well, the impact of this inquiry will remain to be seen. However, in concluding that Israel is committing genocide in Gaza and that it meets 4 of the 5 criteria as required by the 1948 Genocide Convention, the inquiry specified and pointed out the mass killing of civilians in Gaza, the blockading of aid to those civilians in Gaza, the mass displacement of civilians in Gaza, as well as the specific destruction of a fertility, the main fertility hospital in Gaza City, which the inquiry found imposes measures intended to prevent births, which is, of course, one of the 4 criteria. Now, in order to count as genocide, there also needs to be specific intent to destroy a group in whole or part. And that's why the inquiry has singled out Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, former Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, as well as Israeli President Isaac Herzog for what they called inciting genocide. Now, the Israeli Foreign Ministry has rejected this report as distorted and false. They've called it baseless, and they've said that it relies on Hamas falsehoods. But we do need to remember that this inquiry and these findings are only the latest findings labeling the situation in Gaza a genocide. The first to do so were international rights organizations like Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch. We then heard it from Israeli human rights organizations like the prominent organization B'Tselem, and most recently an international Association of Genocide Scholars also reached the same conclusion.
Meanwhile, Blake, whether this has any longer-term diplomatic, or this will exercise any pressure on the Israeli government longer-term, right now, the full-scale takeover of Gaza City is already taking place.
That's right. Overnight, we saw very heavy airstrikes begin targeting Gaza City. There were then rumors that the offensive would begin. And by the morning, the Israeli military explained that some 2 divisions, which includes tens of thousands of soldiers, were now pushing into new areas in Gaza City, and the offensive is underway. In the coming days, we expect an additional division to join that operation, which will see an addition of tens of thousands of more soldiers. Now, it is important to note that this offensive will be phased and will not see the Israeli forces push into the center of Gaza City in a matter of days, but it has begun. And along with this new offensive, the Israeli military has reiterated demands that the civilian population of Gaza City evacuate, that they head south. They've deemed the entire area a dangerous combat zone. In response to that, a collection of Israeli human rights organizations have called that forced displacement as well as ethnic cleansing. Now, the pre-war population of Gaza City was some 1 million people, and the Israeli military has said that 350,000 people have now been displaced, have now left. But of course, that still leaves 650,000 people. And speaking to contacts in Gaza City today, you understand that many people are trying to leave, but it is very difficult in many cases. I'm told that the cost of relocating from Gaza City to the safer areas in the south, or the areas that are deemed safe, is now $2,000. And if you can find a vehicle, the road, the main and only coastal road where you can travel to go down to the south, is choked with traffic. In better times, it would take some 20 minutes to drive that distance, and now it takes many, many hours, upwards of 7 hours in some cases. So the humanitarian situation in Gaza City is worsening. Of course, Gaza City is the epicenter of the famine that the United Nations had said is gripping the Strip, and the fear and the displacement ahead of the beginning of this new ground offensive has many worried that the situation will get much, much worse.
Well, thanks to Blake Sifton, they're reporting for CNA in Tel Aviv.